Dementia number 15, pondering some thoughts on being located in a facility. When your person is located, if they have come from a residence and not another facility transfer, then I am thinking that there must be a checklist that would be recommended. I've tried to do some research, so I do not have links, but you can talk to the aging and disability, especially if you're aged and disabled. If you are in a facility, then I would strongly advise that if you come from a residence, that you immediately allow a proxy person to update all your addresses, and that if you can't do that, go through a case manager or a financial planner if you're not going to straight up appoint a financial power of attorney. And what I'm addressing here is identity theft of people that are aged and disabled, because they are so reliant on their Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and other aspects of their life. Many of these people don't do online accounts, and so you need to potentially get proxy to have their, until all the address changes are done and completed, then to put a stop on their mail being delivered, because that is the easiest way to get access to information. Unfortunately, elderly people are targeted. They're not only targeted for their mail, they are targeted for their medications as well. And if you have medical supplies that were being routed sort of on a prepaid monthly basis, then make sure or ensure that those accounts are discontinued and that there's no liability or access for anybody. You may be able to address any mailers to contact you immediately. Banks obviously will do that. They'll notate the account. They usually have a dollar amount where it's flagged. If there is something called an Alzheimer's friendly bank, there were some at times. I can't say that is to do with online or mailing per se, but they will work with you very carefully. There's going to have to be probably personally witnessed and then notarized ability to proxy on some of these things. Before you do that, it would be best that you do that in the most protective way for yourself as well. If you would simply be proxy verbally over the phone for certain accounts, and that person is with you, and then at some point there's a discrepancy and all they have is just a verbal agreement, that may not hold up in court if there's any investigation. So I would strongly recommend that you do a follow-up with something that's notarized and witnessed. So I'm just putting out there that this is kind of going to be a deep dive, because it depends on what your person's needs are. But do remember that they are still vulnerable, even though they are now in a facility, and that their personal accounts, their Social Security numbers, almost everything that they have has been known at some point to be part of a huge scam. It isn't just simply calling up elderly people and marketing them or asking them to provide information to you over the phone. The aging of the mind, you will recall the things that you know, maybe have long-term memory, not short-term. It's very often these people can just, boom, list off their anything from a driver's license to a Social Security number, as well as their date of birth, and they retain that. maybe not their current addresses and other things as such. They may or may not know like their last banking transaction. So again, there are agencies that are going to need to be put on the alert status for these accounts. And then there's going to have to be a notation on there as to who they would contact in an emergency situation, and then who is authorized to process maybe an investigation. So there is something called the Adult Protective Services that I am aware of, and they would be able to, you leave a message, you explain the circumstances, they review it, and then give it to a case manager. Case manager will meet with you and your person, and then witness and take notes from there and ask what the outcome is. Now, there's another thing that is called the Elderly Law Project. And again, each state and each regulation may be different, but most states have these agencies to assist you in protecting an elder and or disabled person as much as possible. So again, it's a deep dive. Unfortunately, I don't have resources for you other than talk to the aging and disabled agency in your city. So God bless, and thank you again for viewing my videos.